York Harbor, one of the busiest in the world, teems with international trade and an increasing flow of immigrants drawn to and fueling an unprecedented surge of industry and wealth in the wake of the Civil War. Every ship coming and going will pass the statue in the harbor. New York has become the very gateway to the New World and the freedom America has come to represent. La Boulaye sets the project in motion.
Authorizing the president to designate and set apart the site of the colossal statue in the harbor of New York.
He secures permission to place the statue on Bedloes Island and launches a massive fundraising effort. His plan calls for the people of France to donate the statue. Americans will provide a grand pedestal for the statue on the chosen site. Bartholdi spends years on the design. The ancient Roman goddess Libertas has long been used to personify the idea of liberty. But the idea of liberty is controversial in much of the world. It suggests violence and revolution. In the end, Bartholdi's vision transforms the goddess into a bearer of law and light. He calls his statue Liberty Enlightening the World. It is an immense idea. In 1875 in Paris, Bartholdi begins to build an immense statue of the figure Liberty. Working from Bartholdi's final model of the statue, just 4 feet tall, the sculptor and his team of skilled artisans begin to create a statue that will be 151 feet tall.
Is inspired by news that slavery in the United States has
They make thousands of measurements in order to fashion accurate, full-scale plaster casts of the statue's individual parts. They build 300 wooden forms that follow every contour of the plaster models. Then use the forms to hammer sheets of copper into shapes that will fit together like gigantic puzzle pieces. The epic puzzle takes more than 5 years to complete. Bartholdi stokes public enthusiasm with showings of work in progress in the United States and Paris. He sells tickets for tours of his workshops. Meanwhile, the sculptor has engineering problems to solve. The statue's copper skin weighs more than 179,000 pounds. Liberty cannot stand without internal structure. For this, Bartholdi turns to the brilliant Alexandre Gustave Eiffel, later famed for what Americans call the Eiffel Tower. Paris, 1881. The full statue begins to rise up. 100,000 people have come to behold her. Dignitaries, artists, writers, and everyday gawkers, all stunned by her scale and stirred by the power of the idea she conveys. Bartholdi's crew disassembles the statue and packs it in more than 200 crates for its voyage across the Atlantic. With its heavy load, the ship plows through storms and high winds and nearly capsizes. But on June 19, 1885, the French ship Isère enters New York Harbor, met with enormous fanfare and a naval parade. Over the next year, atop the new pedestal on Bedloes Island, the statue rises again, now to an astounding 305.5 feet, from the ground to the top of her torch. And the freedom America has come to represent. October 28, 1886, America formally dedicates the Statue of Liberty. Visitors experience what is perhaps Bartholdi's greatest stroke of genius. His plan calls they can go inside the statue. Rising up through the structure, the statue is not just an engineering marvel, but an unforgettable metaphor for the dynamic and inspiring force of liberty. Visitors see the world as liberty sees it. The statue lifts a torch of hope, lighting the way to possibility, to the promise of liberty and justice for all.